So it really is great to see that employer branding is really evolving as a profession, as a discipline. And it's really great to see on LinkedIn where you get people saying, actually, you've got to do so much more than saying we are hiring. Saying we are hiring is really just really should be the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much more that should be done. Now, that does of course mean it should be focused on what do you stand for an organization, what is your culture, what is your EVP, and how can you then take that and turn it into messages that sells you as an organization, as a place to work. But I think, again, that just scratches the surface. Really, the opportunity with employer branding, or for employer branding, is really going, let's think about our culture, let's think about our EVP, and let's actually get our people to share their expertise, share their advice, that when they do that, without a sales message in sight, but when they do that and they talk, share content like that, it then oozes the EVP. So there really should be less focus on sales messages in employer branding. And I think, unfortunately, there still is that. It's too much of that, because it's ultimately saying you should come and work here. But if you get your people to actually walk and talk the values, the culture, and the proposition of the organization, then actually people are not going to feel that they're being sold at or sold to. And actually, people looking for jobs, they're not always looking for jobs when you want to work when you want them to. It's very different to the world of consumer, where there is more control over when people decide to buy something. I suppose it's a bit like B2B, where actually if you're selling B2B services, someone's not going to make an instant choice there and then. But I think that's magnified even more when it comes to the world of employer branding and talent acquisition. Well, and ultimately, someone deciding to change a job. It's often is the case that it's a big undertaking, it's a big decision, and so therefore you can't just be blitzing sales messages all the time, whether they're sophisticated or they're just we're hiring. You cannot rely on that, because you need more of that slow burn content that actually could result in quick results as well, of your people sharing their experiences, sharing their advice, and also their stories as well, which can just ingratiate the organization with future talent that might be joining that organization in the future. So when they are ready to apply, ready to make a move, then they're already like halfway there to actually making that decision to join you as an organization. And they should be a lot more informed about what you stand for. And you're going to get a lot more quality candidates off the back of that, which we know is going to be a massive cost saving when it comes to the assessment of candidates in a recruitment process. And also, not to mention, when someone is starting, the whole thing about retaining staff in the first 12 months, you want to make sure that the right people join, instead of then having to go back to square one and put all that time, effort, and money into replacing a hire that only stayed at an organisation for a much shorter amount of time than expected.